Another worry for consumers already battling growing food protectionism and inflation. Thailand and Vietnam are talking about joining hands to lift rice prices. And that's on top of speculation that India, the world's biggest exporter of the grain, could curb shipments. Well, Thailand's Premier Prayut Chan-o-cha has proposed that Thailand and Vietnam jointly raise rice prices to boost their global bargaining power. Now, this would benefit millions of rice farmers in the two countries who are struggling with rising costs. While Vietnam and Thai officials met yesterday to discuss a framework for cooperation. Thailand is the world's second biggest rice exporter, and Vietnam is third largest. And for more, we have Dr. Purnima Varma, Assistant Professor at the Center for Management in Agriculture from the Indian Institute of Management. Well, Dr. Purnima, what are your thoughts on the joint effort by Thailand and Vietnam to lift rice prices, and how will that affect the rice market?
The impact will be in terms of an increase in prices for rice in the world market. And as they assume, the benefit of rice in price is not going to be kind of materialized by the farmers. So most likely the consumers in other countries, and especially in the low-income countries, they will have to bear the cost of an increase in prices. And if you look at the major importing countries of rice in the world, major rice importing countries are Asian countries itself. And as far as India is concerned, out of 30, the largest importing countries, around 22 countries are the low or middle income countries, and 8 countries are the high income countries. And out of this, there are 7 to 8 very low income countries. So the impact of an increase in rice price is going to be very adverse on these countries.
Yeah, talking about the impact. So, what is going to be the impact on consumers, especially since rice prices haven't gained as much as, say, wheat?
Yeah. No, the reason for an increase in rice price, what I assume is the rise in wheat prices. So the wheat prices and also the export restrictions from countries like India had an impact in pushing up the world prices for wheat. And there is a tendency for people to use rice as a substitute for wheat, especially for the feed related purposes. So this is the reason why the rice price is also increasing along with an increase in the wheat prices.
Well, India has denied this, but is the global rice trade still concerned about export curbs?
Not sure what is going to be the government's next step, but then it's likely that there will be some restrictions on the rice export because of the current availability of the food stock with Indian Food Corporation of India may not be very sufficient to implement the National Food Security Act. So considering that, there is a possibility for some restrictions on rice export. And India has around 40% of the share in the world rice trade, and any such restrictions on the rice export from the government side will have an impact on the rice prices, and the price of rice is likely to go up further.
Here in Asia, rice is an essential staple. What can importers do to cope with higher prices then?
Yeah, so around 90% of the rice is consumed within the Asia itself, or the Asia is the largest producer of rice. So I think since this is actually coming as a substitute for wheat in many places. So I think looking for an alternative to rice will be an essential step. So I think, so this high food inflation is likely to have a negative impact on the food security of these nations, especially the major important countries of the world, which is mainly in Asia itself.
Many thanks for speaking with us, Dr. Purnima Varma from the Indian Institute of Management.